Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight we have a good one here. It is race number 2 of the Race1Wraps.com Street Stock Series with the American Sim Racing Club. I am Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network, and I have my co-commentator, my man, Carson. Carson, how we doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Brad. I'm excited for this race here at Martinsville. Just over half mile, hot day, track temps over 110 degrees, and excited to be in the booth with you, Brad. The Boosted Brothers, me and you. It's always a good time.
Yeah, that it is, Carson. Always a great time. Glad to have you in the booth. And tonight, Carson, a tough track, Martinsville, the paperclip, long straightaways, very tight corners, and that means a recipe for one thing. A lot of contact here tonight.
Yeah, Brad, we'll see people beating the bumpers and doors off each other here. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, it definitely will be a wild one, especially with these street stocks. Luckily, these things you can lean on each other a little bit, make some contact, not have everyone go flying like a super late model or maybe a late model stock. But I think still we may have a couple big ones because with how close the times are, Carson, it's going to be inevitable.
Oh, yeah, Brad, and everyone's going to be so clumped up. There's really nowhere to go here at this track to get away from anyone. So we'll see a lot of side-by-side, a lot of groups, and a lot of beating and banging.
Yeah, that we will. We take a look here at practice times. The man, the Z-Man, Zach Nichols, out in front with a 21.37. That is a flying lap. And then look at the rest of the field, Carson. Pretty much on top of each other, and it's all separated pretty much by like half a second or less throughout all 24 cars here tonight.
Yeah, Brad, I can't believe some of these lap times. I went out and tested pre-race just to see how the car felt and the setup felt, and man, most of these guys are kicking my butt. So it's incredible the speed here in this league, and yeah, how close everyone is. Just the gap from first to the last place guy is only half a second.
Yeah, times definitely very, very close to each other here, and that means some great racing here. And one thing I do want to mention a little bit of the social media that ASRC is doing here each and every week is a driver spotlight. So we spotlighted a few different drivers, well, 2 drivers so far here, the last 2 champions. Tuesday night, of course, last champion was the 8 car of Braxton DeWeese, and then over here on the Wednesday nights with the street stocks was Zach Nichols, and as you see there, the nickname, the Z-Man, Been on iRacing for 9 years. Favorite car, track Xfinity car with Dover. That's definitely a tough combo. Other hobbies, Zach Nichols, a graphic designer, Carson. So always probably rocking some sweet looking race cars.
Yeah, Brett, fellow Michigander, and we see I don't that drive that track car combo does not surprise me because we see this driver and how good he is behind the wheel with the loose race car and driving on the limits. So that does not surprise me one bit, Brett.
Yeah, and these street stocks really are in his wheelhouse. That is how he's so good. Really feels in tune with these cars, and he pretty much shows it week in and week out. Some of the other cool stuff here for the Z-Man. One of his goals is to win the Triple Crown Series here with ASRC. So Zach having that on the bucket list. And then some sponsors, Corgan Oil Company, Carney's Complete Auto Service, and Fricker's Mint as some sweet companies and people teaming up with the 44 as we get on ready, Carson. It's getting close to race time here, about 40 seconds left in practice. And should we do a little game of pick'em for who's going to walk away with the quick time here tonight?
Sure, Brett. I think there's one really good option, but we can pick who we think is going to be the fast time.
All right, I'll give you the layup option if needed, Carson. You can pick first.
I got to go with that 44 car, Zach Nichols. I was just talking about him and how fast he is here and how he can drive the wheel. Well, you said too how he can drive the wheels off the street stock, so I got to pick Z-Man, Zach Nichols.
Yeah, great choice there. I'm going to go with third quick here tonight so far. He was quick time last night in the late model stocks with the American Sim Racing Club. That is Jimmy Gauker. So I'm going to go with old Jimmy in the 2. And cool thing with Jimmy here, he's streaming this race live so you can jump on board, see what he's doing. Got the webcam going, and you can find out some of the other drivers' live streams with the links in the description here. As Carson, it is party time. Qualifying to set the field for this 50-lap main event. And the other thing these drivers got to be careful of, top 12 invert, just to throw a little extra wrench into the game plan, let's say.
Yeah, and the leader, Zach Nichols, is starting at the back, right, Brett? There's a shotgun rule now?
That is correct. So Zach Nichols, no matter where he qualifies, will be at the back of the field. First car we're taking a look at, very similar to Zawaso 2023 track champion car. It is the 51 of Ron Hart on the clock here. He'll sail through turns 1 and 2 and head to the backstretch. And very quick lap times here, Carson. We saw in practice, right around 20-second lap. So this 50-lapper is going to go by in a hurry.
Yeah, Brett. And that's a sneaky pick, Ron Hart. You know how fast he is racing around him. He could have picked up the pole time as, what did I say, a 21.331 for Ron Hart, sorry.
Yeah, that is a great time by the 51. As it looks like Jeff Dillon just goes quick time there in the 52. We'll keep an eye out as some other drivers still yet to take a time, as Hart to the stripe for the final time. Does he pick up time? No, he doesn't. 21.61 for lap number 2. Now we'll go check out your pick, Carson. Here is the 44 of Nichols.
Man, bro, I can't believe these qualifying times. These guys are all flying.
Yeah, there are times very, very close, and we got to keep an eye on the top 12 because whoever can qualify 12th will start on the pole. But here we go. Zach Nichols, lap number 1, about to be in the books. He'll cross the stripe, and the 44 will throw down at 21.14, lap number 1. Holy smokes.
I can't believe that. I don't know what to say. That's incredible.
That is incredible there from the 44. Now we'll take a look at the number 11. This is Jaden Kratacci, another one of those drivers live streaming here tonight. So we will see where Kratacci can go as very loose in 1 and 2 for the number 11. That's going to slow down his pace just a little bit. Does he have enough? Looks like Will Bale, lap number 1. So putting all the eggs in one basket here for lap number 2 for the 11. Jimmy Gauker at least able to crack the top 5 with a 21.35. As you can see just how close these times are. I want to say all the way to like 15th is separated, I should say 2nd to 15th, less than a tenth of a second here, as the 44 for his best time here tonight will go only P number 7 for the 11. So probably not the qualifying that he wanted there, as I believe, Carson, everyone has taken a lap time here. So everyone quickly getting done with qualifying here.
Yeah, Brett, eager to get this 50 lap feature going here tonight.
Yeah, that it seems like they are. Scott Austin will jump up to P13, just miss out on the pole. And it looks like at the moment, Carson, we got the Iron Man, the most starts of ASRC, Dave Payton, going to be leading the field to green with that invert.
Yeah, Brett, we'll have to see how Dave can do managing the race. He can be kind of hit or miss, so and important for Dave is to keep the emotions in check. So we'll see how he handles all the beating and banging here tonight.
Yeah, that he'll have to rip that rearview mirror off of that car and just focus out ahead of him, let's say, not worry about the cars behind. The one good thing the 38 has in his back pocket is it is only a 50 lap race here tonight, so it's kind of going to be a sprint from the drop of the green flag, let's say.
Yeah, Brett, I think looking at these lap times, anyone could pull this off as long as they do a good job managing the race and kind of blocking and just not giving up any lanes to the guys behind them.
Yeah, that is for sure. Everyone's going to be glued to that bottom lane, especially as those marbles start to build, because that's a signature of Martinsville. The flat corners, the high speeds on entry, we're going to get a lot of marbles very quickly, and that's going to make the bottom side pretty much the only viable option. So one last time, we're going to shout out Zach Nichols, have him up on screen for the quick time here tonight for race number 2 of the Race1Wraps.com Street Stock Series here at Martinsville. So right before running through the grid, Carson, any early picks on who some favorites are to win here tonight?
Obviously Zach Nichols, as I picked him for qualifying. I like someone like a Ron Hart who can really send it around here and drive a loose race car. I like Gauker too, your pick. He was fast in practice and qualifying, so I like all three of those guys, Brett.
Yeah, and I think one guy we got to keep an eye on, the 88 of Chuck Darling. Finished 4th last week, and then after that, kind of, going to start towards the front here tonight with the invert. So a little bit time for some warm-up here, Carson. You have any driver you want to chat with? We can pick anyone in the Discord here.
Maybe we should chat with Chuck Darlin. I know he got kind of unlucky to not get a podium last week, so maybe we bring him up here tonight to get his airtime.
All right, sounds like a plan. We'll get a word with the 88 of Chuck Darling here real quick. Chuck, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
I got a copy. What's up, Brett?
How are we feeling here tonight with the invert, my man? You're starting towards the front, and last week finishing 4th, definitely had a shot for the win. You know, you got to feel pretty good coming into race number 2 here.
Well, I think sometimes a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, but that was a great race last week. Just hoping to carry the momentum this week. It's gonna be a little bit sketchy at first trying to get the hang of the car because sometimes it feels loose, sometimes it's a little bit tight depending upon the cloud cover. But I think we're gonna be doing good.
Yeah, I think so as well. Hopefully, I don't jinx you. I picked you to do well here tonight, Chuck. So hopefully we feeling good. What's kind of the game plan here? Probably just wrapping that inside lane.
Yeah, I'll try to run and try to conserve just a little bit probably. Don't want to push the issue too much, but the goal is to be consistent and finish in the top 5 each week. That's the goal.
Yeah, some great goals there. Well, before we let you get strapped in for the race car for the 50 laps, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to on the broadcast?
Yeah, sure do. Dead Short Race Car Wiring, Brad Bergevin, Race 1 Wraps did the wrap on the car. Racing Takes Balls Testicular Cancer Initiative for my buddy Zach Heiser. Horsepower Happenings, my teammate Ron Hart. And of course the B&C Racing, my wife Brenda.
Alrighty, some great sponsors there. Best of luck, Chuck, for these 50 laps. Good luck out there, buddy.
All right, thanks a lot, Brett. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, Carson, that was a word with Chuck Darling. And what do we say? we head on over for our starting grid here tonight.
Man, he's got a great voice, Brad. He should be in the booth.
Yeah, he is up at Birch Run, so if you want to hear some more of him, that's where you can find him as we get ready now with a little bit of pump-up music to head through tonight's 24 starters. Alrighty, as race cars get rolling, let's run through tonight's starting order. Leading the field to green will be the 38 of Dave Payton. To his outside of the front row will be the 94. That is Nicholas Presley. Then we head to row number 2, my pick here. Chuck Darling in the 88 rolling off third, with Mark Fuqua in the 06 rolling off fourth. And rounding out the top 5 will be the 13 of Zach Coyer.
And then starting 6th, it'll be the 11 car of Jaden Kratacci. To his outside, in 7th, it'll be the 02 of Jimmy Gauker. Behind them, to the inside, the 18 car of Devin McDonald, starting 8th. Starting 9th is the 51 of Ron Hart to his outside, and then Jeff Dillon will be rounding out the top 10 in the 52.
Yeah, starting in P number 11 will be Hayden Swank. Then 12th is Zach Nichols, but Nichols, of course, shotgun driver. 13th going to Scott Austin, 14th Andrew Payne, 15th Stephen Rockford, 16th is Ty Delphia, 17th going to Caleb Ramsey, 18th Tim Rogers, 19th Braden Cook, and 20th Scott Rockford. I was afraid they were going to go green there, luckily not. So Carson, you can finish off the field here.
Yeah, just 4 drivers left, Brett. Starting in 21st, will be the 45 of Andrew Hardings. Starting 22nd will be the 003 of Mike McCaskill. Starting 23rd, it'll be the 24 car of Shane O'Neill. And then rounding out your field, a long-time racer here in ASRC, a lot of laps run. The starting 24th is the 2 car of John DeMeester.
Yep, and that was round out the field. Of course, Zach Nichols at the back here. We'll see what he can do as we get ready to turn him loose for 50 laps. We are excited.
Yeah, Brett, a lot of veterans in this field, a lot of guys who've been around ASRC a while. This should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and here we go. Dave Payne on the loud pedal early. We go green flag racing for race number 2 at Martinsville. The field will dive into turn number 1 side by side here. Dave Payne by himself. It looks like rest of the field battling for that all-important track position.
So we got a lot of 2x2 action. Looks like Ron Hart here. Oh, almost gets into the 02 of Jimmy Gauker there, Brett. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, we jump on board with Ron Hart, just seeing how tough it is to get around. And one car that's stuck up on the top side, the 94 Nicholas Presley, he's on the wrong side of the freight train here as he is dropping back here quickly.
Yeah, Brett, so tough here once you get on the outside. You're in the marbles, and the bottom lane is definitely the superior line here.
Yeah, definitely, and it'll only continue to get better as those marbles start to develop. They got cleaned off here during qualifying. I think they even get cleaned off a little bit during cautions, but as Presley tries to close the gap, Swank will fill quick. Presley loose, three wide off the turn number 4.
Yeah, that really hurt Presley. His car is hurt bad.
Yeah, he slipped big time with that right rear, and he has to be very timid on the throttle now because that right rear tire is going to be very hot as we see Presley continue to fall down the order here. But up in front, single filed out all the way till about Scott Austin and Jimmy Gauker here. That is a battle for P number 9. Here comes Andrew Payne to fill in the gap. Gauker, another one of those cars stuck up top, still has yet to get to the bottom side.
Andrew with an aggressive move. We know, Brett, Andrew can be aggressive. You made that one work, but hopefully he can keep it off Gauker here.
Yeah, as I tell you what, he has gotten to be some kind of driver, the driver of the 93, Andrew Payne. He is definitely a force to be reckoned with any race he loads into, as he does get as well as any car he loads into, any track. he is a quick one as he gets that P number 10 spot here. Looks like Gauker finally in line, and then we got to jump all the way towards the back here. Take a look at the 44. He's up at least into the top 20, but I think he's going to need some help from some yellows. That is Zach Nichols.
Yeah, Brad, and here it's really tough to pass, so he's going to have a hard time getting back up to the front.
Yeah, that he is. As speaking about out in front, Dave Payton so far leading all 8 laps here of the 50. He has a very hungry Chuck Darling on his back bumper. I believe Darling looking for, I think, the second win of his career here so far.
Yeah, Brad, we've seen him come close so many times and have bad luck at incidents after bad luck, so we'll have to see if this night he prevails.
Yeah, it would be a one for the record books for Chuck Darling to visit victory lane here once again. Trying to look through the stats here quick if you want to keep calling the race, and looking like we're about P5 here as everyone very quickly clicking off laps, already 10 laps down of the 50. As actually re-looking at my stats, Carson, Chuck Darling looking for his first career win, so even more of a big time celebration it would be for the 88 to get the job done here tonight. As here we go, battle for second. Jaden Kratachi has been setting up, I believe, the mark in that 6 machine finally to the inside, and now Mark's going to have to really fight to try and get back down to that inside lane, and Zach Coyer already sniffing that left rear.
Yeah, Brad, nothing the 06 can really do here. He's just kind of stuck up top and buying his time.
Yeah, that he is, as we ride on board with Jaden Kratachi, looking back at that side-by-side battle here. Almost some contact right there in the middle of the apex, but that is what it is all about with these street stocks, that slight little contact just to get that little bit of advantage, because as we saw even in qualifying, Carson, these times, these drivers all on top of each other. It's puts on some great racing though, as Coyer's still kind of struggling to get around, and Ron Hart right there on the back bumper waiting for a mistake from either driver.
Yeah, Ron's trying his hardest to stay off these guys as they battle side by side. I think he's got the faster car, but just looking for the opportunity.
Yeah, that he is, as we now jump on board with the car stuck to the outside, and kind of on the left rear look back as Coyer got some help here. This could help Mark clear, and yes, it does. Mark will drive it in there deep. He'll get loose though. He goes up the racetrack. Look at him wheeling that car. He gets some help. Oh man, Carson, that's how trouble starts here very quickly. Man, we saw Mark wheeling that car with the onboard. That was hands flying around the screen, but somehow able to hang on to that race car, but still once again stuck in the outside lane. Now Ron Hart, as Hart will put the bumper to the 6. Some more. They still make contact down the backstretch.
Yeah, Ron losing patience, bro. You can tell.
Yeah, that he is, because he knows laps are continuing to click off. And Carson, we're almost halfway done in the race here tonight.
Wow, it flew by, Brad.
Yeah, that it has. If this goes flag to flag, this might be a record in ASRC as the quickest race ever done here, as it looks like the 6 finally able to get down to the bottom. Ron Hart, though, still stuck up on the top side.
Yeah, he got on the wall again, Brett, so he's did a little bit more damage to that beat-up race car.
Yeah, you see some damage to that front nose, but a night may be going worse for the 51 as he continues to try and muscle his way down to the inside lane. Now has the 13 a tie to his inside. Those guys going to be racing hard here, but the top 3 kind of checked out. Kratachi, though, putting pressure on Chuck Darling as he puts pressure on our race leader out in front.
Yeah, Brett, and I was going to make a joke about Chuck Darling. He's like the Sheldon Creed of this league. I know he's been close many times, but he's never won.
Yeah, looking for that first win here tonight. And like we mentioned before, what a time it would be if he could do it. As we jump on board once again with Kratachi looking kind of forwards, and watch him work those hands here. A lot of wheel at the apex, but then coming on off very straight, maybe a little to the right. That means that car's rotating. He's driving that car very well. As you can see just how close he's getting to Chuck Darling for that second position.
Yeah, and I like this crossover line where they drive it in a little bit deeper, but get on the brakes harder and then cross over and get the run off.
Yeah, that's a key with Martinsville, Carson. That's exactly it. That run off the corner, because the corners are, or I should say the straightaways are so long that it's all about that momentum by the time you lift into the next corner. So if you can get a good one from that, you are looking pretty golden.
Yeah, Brian, when you're running a fast lap here, you're on the knife's edge with being loose. Going in, you're loose on the brakes, and then getting on the gas coming out, you're loose.
Yeah, that's because these cars are so heavy, Carson, and these guys absolutely pushing these cars to the limits of the tire grip, let's say, with just always on knife's edge, like you mentioned, because of the weight, the skinny tires. So to run a fast lap, you got to throw it in hard and drive it off hard, but then you got to really start to worry about the right rear, because I did a few races last season when I was behind the wheel, and man, is it not fun at the end of the race with a right rear that's gone in these cars.
Oh, I could imagine, bro. I'm not the best with tire saving, so I've been there with some pretty crappy cars.
Yeah, never a fun time. As we look once again a little bit further back, Ron Hart still on the outside, has yet to get to the bottom. Here comes Zach Nichols now trying to get up into the top 15. He's behind Caleb Ramsey, and like we mentioned before, Ron Hart looks like finally gonna maybe throw in the towel here, try and get back to the bottom. But Carson, that time by, cross flags, halfway down, halfway home, and 25 laps to go.
And we got to give it up to these drivers, Brad. No cautions at Martinsville. That's pretty impressive.
That is very impressive, especially with how aggressive these guys are racing and how close they are racing to each other. I mean, it just shows you what kind of drivers we have here at ASRC. As once again, head to the front here, riding on board with Chuck Darling, continue to put pressure on Dave Payton. Darling's close enough that all it takes is one mistake from that Pinkerton 38 machine, and we could see Darling out in front. But how about Dave Payton, Carson, doing a heck of a job out in front and still leading the way? Man, a great run for all these guys up near the front.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to see Dave win as well, because I know it's been a long time for him. He hasn't had the best luck either in this league, so, or I mean, well, yeah, in all the series. So it'd be awesome for either Dave or Chuck to be able to bring it home.
Yeah, it would be, as Dave Payton, 204 starts coming into this season with American Sim Racing Club. That is absolutely mind-boggling. He has done 204 official races with our series. Wow.
Does he have the most, or is it like someone like a John DeMeester?
He actually passed John DeMeester for the most, so it's being led by Dave Payton, our race leader here tonight.
Wow, good for Dave.
Yeah, it definitely is awesome. As here we go, Dave Payton, we'll see 20 laps to go here at the start-finish line. And kind of the top four kind of breaking out to their own group. Dave Payton running in first, Chuck Darling second, Jaden Kratachi third, and Zach Coyer kind of rounding out this first group. Then another four cars kind of in their own island. That is Hayden Swank in fifth, Devin McDonald sixth, Scott Austin seventh, and then Andrew Payne in eighth. And then to round out the top 10, Jeff Dillon ninth, Jimmy Gauker in 10th. And right now, everyone's kind of running their race. No side-by-side action here at the moment.
Yeah, Brett, but we see a lot of cars on each other's bumpers.
Yeah, that we do. As Kratachi right on the back bumper of Darling, waiting for any sort of mistake. And that's pretty much what all these guys are. Is here we go, Dev McDonald looking to the inside of Hayden Swank. They make contact, and Hayden Swank's going to drift it off turn number 2. Wow, how did he save that and not get into the side of McDonald?
Yeah, that was incredible, Brad. Devin got the apron a little bit and slid up into Swank and hit him right there on exit where you're really loose. But Hayden, man, great wheel, man, and drove out of that.
Yeah, he's another one of the great wheelmen of the series, but you can see how loose Hayden Swank is in that 35 machine up on that second lane. Those marbles are starting to become treacherous as Swank able to get down to the bottom side. Here comes Andrew Payne to the inside of Scott Austin right behind him.
Yeah, Brett, and I expect this guy to charge for the front here. Great tire saver, Andrew Payne. We'll have to see. Oh, a little bit of contact there. We'll have to see how clean he can pass these guys.
Yeah, so far he's doing an awesome job coming through the field here tonight, but the one bummer is time is not on his side, as this time by at the stripe will be 15 laps to go. P number 7, he's got to hope for a friendly yellow before this race is over. As Payne, big time drift through 1 and 2. That will cost him a little bit of time. Luckily for him, cars side by side behind him as Jeff Dillon now looks to the inside of the 5. Payne will get a little shot in the shorts there going into turn number 3 from Austin, as here we go, drag race between Dillon and Austin.
Yeah, Scott Austin had to check up after getting into Andrew Payne's bumper, and it allowed this 52 car of Jeff Dillon to his inside, and now he's kind of just hung out there. And I don't know, Brett, do you think you'll be able to get back even with him?
I don't think so. With the amount of marbles up on the top side and with them already door to door, you know, if Austin was a quarter of the car length ahead, you know, he would probably have much more of a fighting chance, can determine the line a little bit on corner entry. But right now, Austin just trying to hope he doesn't get freight trained, as right in front of them now Andrew Payne to the inside of Swank. This could slow down Austin as well if Swank continues to fry that right rear.
Yeah, and a door slam right there for Andrew and Hayden. Another one. Oh, man. These guys aren't racing nice.
Hey, that's just some short track racing, Carson, here in the street stocks. A little bit of door banging. The guy on the inside trying to run as low as he can. The car on the inside trying to wash up just a little bit. But it's kind of Talladega pack racing almost for around 6th position here tonight, coming up to 10 laps to go.
Yeah, and I thought Andrew out as Jeff Dillon hard in the inside wall, Brad.
Yeah, that he is. A big hit there for the 52. Luckily, able to keep that car rolling, but definitely has to have some left front damage on that car. That car is not going to drive well, as he at least stays in P number 13, excuse me, here at the moment. But Payne and Swank still going at it door to door. What incredible racing between the two of them here with 9 to go. But out in front, though, Dave Payne still leading the way. Him and Darling kind of driving away a little bit from Katachi in 3rd.
Yeah, Brett, and a driver we haven't really said his name much tonight, Zach Coyer, sneaky fast. He might be a factor here to win here in these last 8 laps.
Yeah, and I mean last season here in the street stocks, Carson, Zach Coyer was a force to be reckoned with. I think by the end of the season, yeah, he had 4 top 5s and 10 top 10s to rack up last season. So Coyer very strong in these street stocks. Don't look now, Carson. Zach Nichols kind of knocking on the door for a top 10. He sits a 12th as contact right in front of them.
Yeah, Tydelphia got really loose.
Yeah, that he did. Maybe a little bit too much rear brake bias in the car, or just got in there too hot, got on the brakes a little too hard, and that thing stepping on out, a little bit of smoke, but now stuck to that oh so difficult top side.
Yeah, Brad, and I thought Andrew would be able to have more of a run, but this side-by-side battle is really using up his tires, and they're worn out.
Yeah, and like I mentioned before, when Austin was side-by-side before, if Swank can just keep his nose in front of Andrew Payne, it's going to be very difficult for Payne to get around him, because you got to pinch the car so much on exit. Payne can drive it in there deep, wash up a little bit, but the way that Swank is running, he can drive it off a little bit straighter than Payne, and with that, just carry enough momentum that as long as Swank keeps doing what he's doing, keep at least door number to door number, he could hang on to the spot by the end of it, because Carson, already 4 laps to go. We're getting towards the end.
Yeah, Brett, this race is flying by, and Again, hats off to these drivers with no cautions at Martinsville. That's insane.
Yeah, we take a quick look here at the top four with 4 laps to go here. Dave Payton still out in front, now 3 to go. Chuck Darling in second. Jaden Kurtachi rounding out the top 3 here as they continue to wait for that one mistake. Lap traffic won't be a factor. Payne sideways, Hank sideways. Oh man, Coyer hard in the wall. Sorry. Yep, that was right. Delphia in the wall. They somehow stay green flag racing. Wow.
I can't believe Jeff Dillon's keeping up with these guys, bro, after slamming the inside wall. That's impressive.
Yeah, that was a big time hit there. Presley gets a piece of the wall there off of turn number 4 as well. But that time by Carson. Popsicle sticks up in the air. Payne in the wall.
Oh, there goes.
Swank around.
Yeah, there goes Hayden Swank, sorry. We saw that battle, and we knew something was going to happen, Brett. They're leaning on each other way too much for way too long.
Yeah, and here we go. No yellow flag. White flag is out. This race is going to be official, so we'll go back up to the front here at the end. Dave Payne has one set of corners to go. Does Darling put the bumper to the 38? He'll give him a tap, but off of turn number 4, Dave Payton will win race number 2 here at Martinsville.
Wow, that is awesome for Dave.
That is awesome as Nichols was able to get into the top 10 as everyone else will come across the line. Wow, what a race. I think we're racing for what, Carson? Less than 15 minutes or something?
Yeah. I mean, it just flew by, and so much good battling and no cautions. It's just awesome.
Yeah, it just shows you what kind of drivers we have here at ASRC as Dave Payne will burn it down here on the front stretch. As wow, I can't wait for this interview, Carson. These 3 are going to be pumped up here tonight.
Oh, yeah. And I see Ron making a comment. It's the oldest top 2 in ASRC history. It might be, Brett.
I think it is. I think we'll set a record there. And how about this guy, Carson? Dave Payton snaps his winless streak in a short track series. He picks up the, well, I should say he finally breaks it, as I think his last win came back way back in the day in a super late model at the Bull Ring. So he will pick up win number 2 of his career with an impressive run by the 38.
Yeah, and hats off to all these guys. I mean, even like a Jeff Dillon, Brett, getting in a big incident, not giving up on the race and getting the top 10. And then for these top guys, great racing and well-deserved.
Yeah, some great racing for sure, Carson. So we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be back on the other side with post-race interviews, as this race absolutely flew on by. So we'll be right back. Me and Carson will get a chance to catch our breath, and we'll talk to the top 3 here.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we head back here to, and this should be slowed on down. Let's see if we can get that figured on out. There we go. That looks a lot better. But we will talk to our third place finisher here first, and that will be the 11 of Jaden Kratachi. Jaden, do you got a copy?
Yep, I sure do.
Alrighty, man. We were talking a little bit pre-race. You were excited for this one, but how about that? Green to checkered here for 50 laps, and you guys are racing for less than 50 or 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's a very quick race, I will say. I wish it was a little bit longer, just a few more, probably about 10 to 20 more laps. I think would have been pretty more spicy up front, especially when we got to the lap traffic. But we had a good car tonight. Did everything we could to try and get past Chuck and David, but just didn't have anything for them.
Yeah, it seemed like, you cut up through the field very nicely to get up to those top two, but you, being the driver that you are, weren't going to put the bumper to them, let them battle it out, and a great third place nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely. I got into Chuck a little bit there into turns 1 and 2. Just stepped on my own foot a little bit and sideswiped him a little bit. But yeah, it is what it is. I apologize. We're both cool. I gave him the spot back because I felt bad. So.
Yeah, and I mean, some great racing throughout the field, and I mean, to load up in a street stock here at Martinsville and go caution free, I mean, I don't think anyone had that on their bingo card, especially how tough the second lane was. I know you weren't up there too much tonight, but those marbles seemed very treacherous if you got up there.
Yeah, definitely. I will say on the restart, I'm glad I got down as quick as it was able to. That helped out big time for sure. And then just slowly cutting your way up through the field, and then ended up P3. So not too shabby for tonight. Obviously, like I said, wish we had more laps, but other than that, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it. But since the race went by so quick, we'll jump all the way to qualifying. We were watching you put up your laps and kind of abort the first lap and put all your eggs in that second lap. I mean, how stressful is that knowing you got only one lap? And what'd you feel with the car for that first lap?
Yeah, the first lap, I just went into turn 1 and I got too loose, dove it in a little too deep. So decided to reset, give the second lap a try, and I still managed to screw that up in 3 and 4. So that didn't help me out whatsoever, but it did put us in a good spot with Invert, I will say.
Yeah, that it did a great finish for you here tonight. A little bit better than the late model stock 7th place last night, but kind of looking big picture, let's say, you and Nichols came tied with the overall points, and I think with this finish here tonight, that should put you just ahead, as Nichols was only able to get up to 9th.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully we're beating him. He's like the arch nemesis of my team, so we all like to pick on him for being too good at the game. So we all tell him go touch grass here and there too for the fun of it. But it's all jokes. But yeah, he had a rough night tonight, especially starting in the rear. That didn't help him at all.
Yeah, especially with no yellow flags to help him catch, a group of cars or whatnot. That definitely didn't help him at all.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, he put on a good race. Drove all the way up to 9th. So, I mean, he did a lot more passing than everybody else. I will say that. So.
Yeah, that he did. He definitely was the biggest mover of the race.
Yeah, we had a good car, though. Definitely looking forward to next week. Irwindale Inner, I believe, with these cars, and then Outer with the late model stocks. That should be some fun.
Yeah, that it is. Inner, definitely going to be a right rear or right front eater, let's say, as I don't know if you raced the time that we went there last time, but it definitely made it very interested. And yeah, I mean, excited for next week, of course. What kind of game plan and what kind of prepping are you planning to do for that one?
I got no clue yet. I've never really drove the Inner, so the Outer I'll be fine, but the Inner I think I've probably only raced that 1 or 2 times, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, that it will be. I will say it's very flat and less throttle than you ever think you're gonna need.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like that for sure. It should be fun though.
Yeah, I definitely will put on some great racing. So, Jaden, before we let you go and celebrate a podium finish for you here tonight, I believe your second one, right? Because last week you finished third as well.
Yeah, I got 2/3 in a row. Hopefully we can break that. Maybe get a second or a first next week.
Yeah, I mean, but to start off the season talking with myself and Carson, always a sign of good things to come.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, got to thank you guys for what all you guys do, putting on the broadcast, helping out the league and stuff. Obviously, Tanner for putting on the league and giving us something to do on some Wednesdays and Tuesday nights throughout the year. Obviously, my sponsors, got to thank them as well. R&B Car Company, Community Wide Federal Credit Union, Preferred Warranties, TechWorks Trailer Sales, Hoax Graphics, and United Plumbing. Without all of them, none of this would be possible. So definitely big shout out to all of you guys.
Yep, Jaden, you took the words right out of my mouth. You know how it goes here in the broadcast booth. So, yeah, great shout out to all those guys that partner with you and make that 11 car as quick as it is, even in the sim world.
Yep, definitely. I think you guys, though, you guys definitely put on a lot of work for this, and it's always fun coming to do this.
Oh, yeah, it's always a great time having you out on track. You always put on a great show. So, Jaden, have a great rest of your night, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the future.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Alrighty, Carson, that was our third place finisher. Once again, the 11 of Jaden Kratachi.
Mr. Consistent here in this league, Brad. Back-to-back thirds. Like he said, hopefully next week it's a sign of a second or a first.
Yeah, but he's got to be careful. If he picks up that win, has to start all the way in the back next week. Dave's going to have his hands full with that.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, so we'll dial up our second place finisher, and that it will be the 88 machine. My pick for the win here tonight, it will be Chuck Darling. Chuck, do you got a copy?
I have a copy. What is up, Brett the Jet?
Oh, what is up? How we feeling after that? Second time talking to you here tonight and a runner-up finish. Man, it's got to be feeling pretty good after to start the season the way you have.
Yeah, great run last week, coming up one spot short of the podium, and a great battle there at the end. And finishing second to my buddy Dave. Dave is one of the few guys in this league. I mean, I like to see everybody win, but him more so because I think me and him are tied for like the worst luck in this league.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way, especially in the short track side of things. So to see both you run as well as you did tonight, I mean, it's got to be a big party.
Oh yeah, it's I'm still very happy. I mean, I wish I'd have better luck in the Postma Flooring late model stock tour, but I will take this for sure. A fourth and a second. Man, it's good to have the luck finally starting to turn around a little bit.
Yeah, that it is great to see because, it always seems like, Chuck, you're always fighting for the top 5 until something unlucky happens. But here, for the first 2 seasons of this one, Lady Luck seems to be on your side.
Yeah, let's just hope it carries over that way. I'm going to try and do the double run in the Postma Flooring late model stock tour and the Race 1 Wrap Street stocks and try for the overall. It's amazing to be able to run up with guys like, Jaden and Zach and Matt. And, again, congrats to Dave Payton on that win. That's super awesome. I tried to rattle his cage just a little bit there at the end, but I ain't going to wreck anybody like that.
Yeah, I knew you were probably going to at least give him a bumper just to try, especially with these street stocks, how they can handle it. But we knew you, Kratachi, all you guys up near the front weren't going to do anything too crazy. And you guys put on a heck of a show here at Martinsville. I mean, 50 laps green to checkered. I mean, who had that in their bingo card?
Certainly not me. I did have the thought cross my mind of just like not lifting going into the corner to send Dave up, but I was like, nope, don't do it.
Definitely a wise choice because as we saw at the end of the late model stocks, any sort of contact and, who knows what could happen. Both you guys could go around. One, you never know with contact on iRacing.
Yeah, you'd never want to chance that warp and netcode and all that good stuff. Hats off to Jaden too, man. He got to my inside a couple times and he could have pushed the issue and but he did he left me be. Let's put it that way. Let me gather it up, and we just had a great battle there at the end. So it was a fun race. Now it's time to move on to the Irwindale Inter and see if we can maintain this momentum.
Yeah, that will be the key. And how we feel about Irwindale Inter? I know you were part of a race there with the Street Stocks way back in the day. Have a little bit of info to lean on. A very technical track. How we feeling about it?
I am looking forward to it. I was just talking to Dave a little bit ago about I always go back and watch the replay of the race with me and him in the late super late models, and we ran side by side for 10 laps and it touched like once. So I'm looking forward to it. I think you're going to be able to lean on guys a little bit more because I think these cars will allow for a little bit more bumping and banging. But yeah, it's a technical track. You got to be really, really super smooth, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that will definitely be the key. So, Chuck, I like to ask before we get to the final stuff, I always like to ask a little bit of insight, a little bit of info about everyone in the league, especially first time talking to me this season with your sim setup. What do you got in front of you? What are you looking at? What do you got for equipment in front of you as well?
Oh, I got a cheapy Best Buy CyberPower PC. I've got a Logitech G27 wheel and pedal setup and running the single monitor, but I'm sitting in a base and a racing seat that I bought off from my buddy Frank Evans. Yeah, it's kind of my home away from home on Tuesday and Wednesday nights.
Yeah, and that just goes to show, you don't need the thousands of dollars equipment here in sim racing to go out there and be fast and have fun.
Yep, it's all about momentum, staying smooth, and just come out here and have a blast. I have a blast running in this league. I think I'm one of the longest tenured drivers since the start of the ASRC. So, I mean, you guys have done a great job. Tanner's done a great job of putting this whole thing together, and I just enjoy my time on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Yeah, it's always great having you, Chuck, out on track. Always a great driver, and always a driver I look forwards to racing around on the Speedway. And yeah, Chuck, overall in ASRC, I believe you said right around 8th overall with 121 starts. That's awesome.
Yeah, I remember I was going to join one league, and Tanner's like, "Hey, we're starting up this league," and this has been my home ever since. So, yeah, look forward to it every Tuesday and Wednesday, man.
Yeah, and speaking about stuff to look forwards to, a little bit of big news for yourself in this off season regarding to some real life racing.
Yeah, I'm going to be helping out more behind the scenes at the Birch Run Speedway in 2025, working, doing some marketing, some promotions. I've been working on the Facebook, the website a little bit. I even broke down and created a Twitter account for the track, so that's kind of keeping me busy.
Yeah, always cool stuff, and I can't wait to stay up to date with Birch Run, as that's a great facility, a great track to watch some local Friday night racing.
Yep, schedule's up on their website at birchrunracing.com. When the tickets become available, it'll be birchrunevents.com. That's where you'll get all your information there.
Alrighty, awesome information there, Chuck. And yeah, we'll get things wrapped on up. You can party down with the P2, but here just before that, we got to have you thank who you got to thank, either tuning on to the stream, some sponsors on the car, or some of those all-important teammates.
Yep, definitely. Got to thank Mark at Race One Wraps. Not only is he the title sponsor of the series, he did my car up to kind of represent Billy Lucker's Modified from back in the day. Got to thank my buddy Brad Bergevin at Dead Short Race Car Wiring, Birch Run Speedway. I've got Racing Takes Balls, Testicular Cancer Initiative for my buddy Zach Heiser at Horsepower Happenings, Michigan Auto Racing Fan Club. Got to thank my teammate Ron Hart. Most importantly, got to thank the B&C Racing, my wife Brenda, for putting up with me with my racing, my sim racing, and all that stuff. And I got to thank Tanner, all the league admins, all the sponsors that have come on board: Postma Flooring, Race One Wraps, Boardwalk Subs, LaPlante Racing Products. It's just a pleasure to be a part of this series, and thank you guys for broadcasting at Turn 3. You guys do a great job. I look forward to going back and watching every highlight.
Alrighty, well, appreciate the kind words there, Chuck. Always great having you on the raceway, and always look forward to seeing that 88 out on track. So you, my man, have yourself a great rest of the night. Go celebrate the P2, because this podium probably one of the more fan favorite ones we've had so far.
Yes, sir. You guys have a good night, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Alrighty. Well, that was Chuck Darling. Carson, pretty awesome stuff from the 88 there. I know he's pumped up about how his season has started.
Oh yeah, congrats to the 88 of Chuck Darling on a great second place here tonight. You know, maybe there's a little bit of regret that he didn't quite push Dave a little bit more and try to get the win. He's gonna have to wait for the elusive first win, but he'll take it tonight. I mean, I'm sure he's elated.
Oh yeah, for sure. As now we'll head to the man that's even more elated down in victory lane here tonight. It will be the 38 machine of Dave Payton. Dave, do you got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's up, bro?
How are we feeling after those 50 laps, Dave, down in victory lane? Woohoo!
Perfect game. That's how I'm feeling. It was a perfect game. I was telling Chuck, like, I felt pretty good. I was in a good rhythm both nights at Martinsville. Last night didn't work out too well, but I felt like I was in that groove where, you just have that constant rhythm, and I was putting up really consistent laps. And I suddenly realized, like, oh, we got like 10 laps to go, and I'm still in the lead. Like, what? Something ain't right here. And then it started to realize, like, I can finish this with 50 laps led and win the race, and it happened. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that it was. I mean, to go flag to flag in the race here tonight, I mean, that's incredible of itself. But, I mean, how'd you do it, especially with all the pressure? I mean, it seemed like you had Chuck Darling on that back bumper from the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, I got lucky that I think I got a little lucky. It was 12 car invert, so I technically qualified 12th but started first, and then or 11 car, whatever it was. And then the race was a little bit shorter than what we usually do. I think if Chuck or Jaden or any of the really fast guys that are back there had another handful of laps, it would have given them a lot more chance to try and get by me. And Chuck, I mean, the whole time, with this track, all you got to do is stay on the bottom with this track and car. So that's all I was focusing on, was staying on the bottom. Don't slide up in the middle, because of the way it is. Like, people will take any opportunity they can to stick a nose in. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't give Chuck that opportunity, and it worked out for 50 laps.
Yeah, that it did, Dave. Walking away with career win number 2, and man, we got to be feeling good. It always seems like you and Chuck Darling, don't have the best of luck, especially in a short track race. And to see both you finish 1-2, man, that is awesome stuff.
Yeah, I know. Chuck's probably the only one in the league that has worse luck than me, I think, sometimes. But it was fun. I'm glad it was. I'm glad he raced me clean, and for the most part, I think I told Jaden there was a point where Jaden and Chuck got together, and I got on the radio and told Jaden to do that again. And then the next corner, Chuck gave me a bumper. So I don't know if I pissed, if I made him mad or whatnot. But anyway, I'm glad it was Chuck back there. I always have fun racing against him.
Oh yeah, it's always a great time to race against both of you as competitors. And we got to go back to that last lap, because you got to know that there's at least a little bit bump coming, especially in these street stacks. How'd you set it up, and how'd you keep that 88 at bay?
I didn't think of the bump that was coming. Again, the whole race, all it was just enter on the bottom and stay on the bottom. That's all I was focusing on. And I mean, the good thing now with these cars, I think iRacing did a really great job of updating them. And I think you could do that now. You can give people the bumper, and it doesn't mean you're instantly going to die. So I remember at least one time, I don't even remember getting bumped in the last lap. I was so focused on just staying on the bottom and crossing the finish line first. But he did get into me once. He says twice, and I barely even felt it. So it wasn't bad at all. It was I think he was just trying to rattle my cage.
And that he tried to do, but Dave Payne, the defender, able to hang on to the win. And then, next week we head to a very technical track, Irwindale Inner, very flat. And you, my man, get to start all the way at the back. How we feeling?
Did I ever tell you how much I hate the shotgun rule, and I think it's ridiculous that we brought it back, and we should probably kill it right now?
I haven't heard that from you.
I hate that. I hate it. No, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. You know, it's Irwindale, so I just got to start in the back, and you play the race differently then. Just try to avoid any chaos if it comes, and pick off people where you can.
Yep, that will definitely be the key here, Dave. And first time talking with you this season, I always like to ask a little bit about the drivers and specifically about their sim setups. Get a little information for maybe the fans or other drivers watching. So, Dave, what are you looking at, and what do you got for in front of you for equipment wise?
It's all Thrustmaster. It's their T818 direct drive wheel, which is a really, I think it's a great wheel for what it is, sort of an entry or to mid-grade level wheel for the direct drive family. And then I got the thrust. I don't even know the name of the wheel on this one, but it's just the Thrustmaster leather-bound wheel with a whole bunch of knobs and buttons on it. I got an Apex Racing button box for little things, and I run just a single screen. It's shit, I don't even remember how big it is. 30 I think it's 42 inches curved, and that's it. Oh, and a key that I'm always pushing is I've been using the Tobii eye tracker, which is really, they call it an eye tracker, but it's really a head tracker. And because I'm trying to bridge that gap between triple screens and single screen, and it's pretty inexpensive when you consider how much 3 screens cost. It's a kind of a good in between if you're trying to look for a little better situational awareness in a race car. So, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, especially the eye tracker stuff. And I would assume that it definitely helped you racing around cars, especially in side by side battles, and especially when you see the close side by side battles we have here in the street stocks.
Yeah, it does. It's a little disorientating at first. You got to get used to it. But it does help you definitely look to your left and right and be a little more aware if people are. It really helps if you're starting the race or doing a restart in second place, so you're on the outside usually. It really helps to be able to watch the inside car, and then it's very helpful for like looking towards the apex. It's very useful on road courses when you're trying to look towards the apex and follow where your eyes are looking and stuff. And so yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it definitely sounds very, very cool, Dave. And once again, man, congrats on the big time win here. I know we'll be partying all night long here at Martinsville. We'll join you in the party at the 38 car here once we're done in the booth.
I'll be down at MILF Plaza.
There we go. As Dave, before we let you go and celebrate down in Victory Lane, we got to hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank. Either maybe someone tuning on in, sponsors on the car, or some of those teammates.
Well, sponsors on the car, I guess I would start with Pinkerton, Pinkerton Oil Company. They pay me, which allows me to have all this stuff because I work for them. So and I slap them on the car because without a job at Pinkerton, I wouldn't have all this nice, fun, fancy sim gear. But then, of course, all the series sponsors: Postma Flooring, Race One Wraps, Boardwalk Subs, LaPlante. Race One Wraps. I was kind of looking at them as I was waiting for the interview. Looks really cool. They're Michigan. Mark Welch out of there. They got a Facebook page. You can check out some of their work. It looks pretty awesome. And I think Brett even won a Race One Wrap for his race car, right?
I did. So that's something exciting we get to look forward to this season.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, without those 4 sponsors giving us a little bit of cash to put this on, none of us would be here talking to you. We'd just be racing, not by ourselves, and no one would know. You know what I mean? And so they allow us to do the promotions, do little race payouts, do broadcasts. So it's awesome that those 4 companies were able to step up and support us the way that they do. It's super appreciated. And of course, my lovely wife Natalie, who lets me pretend to be a race car driver every so often.
Yeah, you can't forget her, as she allows you to be the race car driver and allow you to be down in Victory Lane here tonight, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, my man. Well, you have yourself a great rest of the night. Congrats again on the win, and hopefully this luck continues for you, buddy, and we talk to you again here in the near future.
10-4. Thanks, Brett.
Alrighty, Carson, that was our race winner, Dave Payton, getting the job done. Man, what an incredible race.
Yeah, congrats to Dave. Classic Dave Payne interview there. That's always great. And I was wondering, Brett, maybe Dave Payne went to the Nick Fleury School of Blocking here to learn how to drive, pace the field here at Martinsville.
Yeah, maybe as he put on a class act out in front, didn't allow anyone to get to that all important inside line here at Martinsville. And big time congratulations to all those guys we talked to. And how about the rest of the field, Carson? Green to checkered in the street stacks at Martinsville. That's got to be a record in it of itself.
Yeah, we saw some incidents, but guys salvaged it. No one spun out in a way to bring out the caution. So it was awesome, Brad. Props to these guys. They always do a great job every week. And this race here at Martinsville was just more of the same.
Yeah, that it was, Carson. As once again, we got to thank all those sponsors that do make everything happen. Of course, the big title sponsor, Race One Wraps. You can find out more information just by clicking the link in the description there. That first link will take you over to their Facebook page. Check out what Mark is cooking up. He has everything from hero cards, hero signs, cool die-cast wraps, and of course, commercial and race car wraps. Always some really cool stuff from him. Also, we got to thank LaPlante Racing coming on board with another season, partnering up with ASRC Boardwalk Subs as well. Some of the best subs, let's say, on the west side of Michigan. You can get those at your local Boardwalk Sub. And of course, Postma Flooring coming on with the title sponsor for the Tuesday night late model stocks. And man, some good momentum rolling. I mean, the last 3 street stock races, Carson, have all been incredible. This one at the top of the list as well.
Yeah, race director Tanner Talarico was just mentioning that. I saw him make a comment about that. So hats off to these guys again. They've been doing a great job. Well, I was joking around with you earlier that this was a short race of attrition, and everyone survived. So that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yep, no, I assume not too many tempers, maybe a few there towards the end, but overall, yeah, all about that track position here. As let's run through tonight's finishing results, not qualifying results, as Dave Payton in that number 38 Pinkerton machine will bring it to victory lane, second going to the 88 of Chuck Darling. Rounding out the podium positions, and the first guy we got to talk to was the 11 of Jaden Kratachi. Finishing in P number 4, great run from this guy, Carson. If some sort of mistake, he could have been up there. That was the 13 of Zach Hoyer. And rounding out the top 5, going to the 18 of Devin McDonald.
And then finishing 6th in the 05 car, it was Scott Austin. In 7th, to his outside was the 02 of Jimmy Gauker. Finishing 8th was the 66 of Stephen Rochefort. 9th, the biggest mover, starting at the back, last week's winner, Zach Nichols in the 44. And then finishing 10th, a guy I shouted out, had a big incident, but rebounded to still get that top 10, was the 52 of Jeff Dillon.
Yeah, and the first guy outside the top 10, finishing in P number 11, will be the 93 of Andrew Payne. Finishing 12th was the 013, or the 13 on the car. That was Caleb Ramsey. And how about this car, Carson? Ron Hart able to rebound to 13th in the 51. 14th going to the 48 of Tim Rogers. And then it is Braden Cook in the 038, rounding out the top 15.
And then finishing 16th, the 33 of Ty Delfield. We saw him have a big incident coming out of 2, hitting the wall. 17th, the guy who started at the front, an unfortunate night for the 06 of Mark Fuqua. Finishing 18th, Hayden Swank. We saw him battling with Andrew Payne in the 35 car. 19th, another guy who had a tough night starting second was Nicholas Presley in the 94. And to round out the top 20 was the 24 car of Shane O'Neill.
Yeah, and then picking up from there, finishing 21st is Scott Rockford in the 077. Then it is Mike McCaskill in the 003, finishing 22nd. Going to 23rd is Andrew Hardings in the 45. And then rounding out the field here tonight, everyone finished on the lead lap, was the 2 car of John DeMeester. So yeah, Carson, we'll wrap things on up once again, show some of the cool stuff Race 1 has to offer here real quick on screen. A lot of really cool stuff that Mark's doing over there. And yeah, we'll wrap up here from Martinsville. What do you say, Carson? Any final words?
No, Brett, that was a great race. Like I said, it was a survival, a short one, but next week I think you can expect more of the same at Irwindale at that little inner track.
Yeah, I agree. I think we'll see some more contact. Definitely had contact here tonight, but once again, an awesome job from all these drivers. So I have been Brett the Jet in the booth with my brother Carson with the Boosted Brothers broadcast here from Martinsville for race number 2 of the American Sim Racing Club Race1Wraps.com Street Stock Series. So everyone have a great rest of your week. Be sure to tune in to next Wednesday. That will be bringing you the coverage from Irwindale Inner. Same time, same place on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So everyone have a great rest of your week. Stay warm as hopefully things start warming up here in the U.S. And once again, got to give a big shout out to Premier Setups. They're partnered here with Turn 3 throughout for quite a bit of time now. So they have some awesome stuff. Be sure to click the link in the description. That'll take you over to their website. Even if you don't want to buy anything, they have a lot of cool stuff to offer, from setups to sim wrap. So we will catch you guys next week. Everyone take care. And I have been Brett the Jet, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.